From the floor of the CME Group, this is Danny Riley with today's closing print. And the name of today's video, S&P 500 futures and say sold to the Japanese stimulus. I want to remind everybody that these are not our father's markets and nor are these our father's charts. The high of the day in the S&P came in at 2164 even early. The low came in at 2141 half midday, and last we're 2151 half. We're down 13 handles. Total volume 1.8 million, and looks like it's going higher into the close. And MOC, the MIM came out like 30 million to buy, flipped to 30 million to sell, and the actual MOC came out flat. Now, tomorrow we've got a decent economic schedule, and it kind of kicks off some of this job stuff that we're going to be seeing at the end of the week, or the jobs number on Friday. We've got the MBA mortgage applications. We have the ADP employment report. We have Gallup U.S. Job Creation Index. We have the PMI services. We have the ISM number. We have the EIA Petroleum Status Report. We have a 3-year and a 10-year note auction and a 30-year bond announcement. Okay, got that out of the way. Whoosh. Now, look, it was a good day for the biotechs. You know, we all saw that Amgen was up, and it kind of supported the biotech sector. But the rest of the market, it didn't do so well. The S&P was open down off the weakness in Japan. I think it closed. The Nikkei closed down 1.47%, and then that selling showed up into the European Open at 3 a.m. Eastern time. Yeah, I got up and I was with the guys in the European room. It was great. I get to meet a lot of guys, and to tell you the truth, I think it's going to be a successful forum that people can go to kind of converse and look at the markets. But the rest of the day, you know, during the decline, and you know, one of the things that we've seen is this big disconnect between crude oil and the S&P, where crude has been going down and the S&P is going up. Well, they kind of reconnected today. And they really especially reconnected when the crude oil accelerated to the downside, and the S&Ps went right for the ride. But then again, late in the day, that kind of short covering rally showed up, pushing the futures back above 2150. Now, you know, the big thing was crude was down. Big talk about the Italian banks again, which I think there is reason to be concerned there. The yields were up, gold was up, and you know, a lot of moving parts here. So look, as what I think, you know, there was a lot of talk about, oh, you know, the bears are back. Well, at the end of the day, you guys, the S&P only closed down 0.5%. The Dow closed down, I think, 0.26%, and the Nasdaq closed down 0.90%. These are not big declines, but what happened is everybody got very bearish all of a sudden. And same thing late in the day, you got that little push back up, closing the futures above 2150. They're 2153 as I'm looking right now at the screen. Now, look, I'm not going to get real excited about a 0.5% decline in the S&P. We've had a 200 handle rally, and as we go into the end of the week, obviously there's going to be more talk about job creation. I think the consensus is 185,000 jobs. That said, I think it's also a wild card. But what that does is you get closer to these unemployment numbers, is it brings out more talk about Fed interest rate hikes and such like that. They're not going to hike in September, irregardless of the data. Europe is still very weak and very unstable, at least the way it looks to me. And my idea that you buy U.S. stocks and sell European stocks has been right on. And I think that trade's going to continue. Now, what I would say, I'm going to finalize this by saying that one of the things that I tried to point out a couple of days ago is how the volume in the S&P has remained fairly high considering the time of the year and where the markets are priced. But I think that there's been a reason for that, and I think that what we've seen today is we saw a little bit of that kind of big two-way flow where you're seeing some profit taking mixed in with lower oil prices and more concerns about the European banks. So at the end of the day, I think the news carried it lower, and I think late in the day, the guys with the better seats showed back up and pumped it up a little bit. But net, it was a pretty quiet day. We're going to leave it like that. And as I said, I will be back. All right? We'll see you tomorrow on the closing print.